What is up, EOP sports fans? It's Wednesday night. It's 8:30 time for EOP. I'm Big Al.
And I'm Joey Sheeran.
And we got a full studio tonight. I'm not going to get to these guys in a moment, but we want to thank all our great sponsors here at EOP. Let's start with PhillySportsTrips.com. The big day is, Joe, just less than a month away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Less than a month away. We will be down.
Today.
Yeah, We'll be down in D.C. September 25th. And if you want to get your tickets, you got to August 31st, so I understand, is the cutoff date. $325 gets you the bus trip, all the drinks, all the food, the lower level tickets, all the entertainment, and us. 1,000 Birds fans going down to boo Carson Wentz and watch the Eagles stomp the Commanders or whatever the hell they're called this week.
I'm over it. Call them the football team or the Skins.
I go with the football team forever, and that's barely that at all. But check out PhillySportsTrips.com. And also, the Philly schedule is released today, so that means more trips are coming. So check out PhillySportsTrips.com. And if you're out partying up, having a good time at one of these trips or anywhere, you get in a little trouble, David R. Cherry's your man. CherryInjuryLaw.com, 610-565-0300. CherryInjuryLaw.com. That's workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. He's got you covered. Don't worry about it. Call David R. Cherry, 610-565-0300. And I am spent. What's going on, Joe?
Not much, man. Watching these red hot Phillies.
Yes, and I know you guys are probably watching the Phillies because if you're listening to EOP, you're a big Philly sports fan. But mute the TV, turn us up, comment along. We'll throw you up on the screen here as usual. Check us out at EOPsports.com and edgeofphilly.com, whatever's easiest for you to remember. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram now. It's all there. Whatever you want, we're there to get you. But we have two pretty faces joining us tonight. Joe's usually the pretty boy of the group.
This is true.
This is true.
This is 100% true.
Yeah, sounds like it's really hard, Joe. But
there's only two of us. I mean,
I'm going to start to my left. Good friend of mine. It's funny how neither of us knew that you were involved with this, and we'll get what that is in a second. The other one was talking. The guy to my right, Mr. Mullarkey, as we'll call him. Mr. Dan Mullarkey's here. And we're going to be talking about the Golden Gloves tournament, which is going to be right here in Delco, which our studio is based out of. Right here. It's not in CK, but it's not too far from here. But we're going to be talking about that a little bit. They're going to be filling us in. But my buddy Larry Anastasi is also here, who is representing them as well. And we're going to be talking all about something that's big that you may not know about, but you're going to know by the end of tonight. So, Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on and about the tournament.
Yeah, I owned the gym in Upper Darby. I reopened the Upper Darby Boxing Club. Had a gym in Chester for a few years, moved back to Upper Darby where I boxed out of for years, reopened the gym. Took over the Golden Gloves I was a delegate in the Golden Gloves about 12 years ago. Vice president about 5 years ago. Took over as president of the Pennsylvania Golden Gloves 2 years ago. And last year at the national tournament in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I put a bid in for the 100-year anniversary of American Golden Gloves National Tournament in Pennsylvania. And I got the bid. So I now am the proud owner of the 100th anniversary of American Golden Gloves right here in Pennsylvania.
That's awesome.
Now, let's pretend, because here we normally cover our Philly 444. We do have had our MMA or boxers on the show plenty of times.
Huge Rocky fan.
Yeah, huge Rocky fan over here. Explain to maybe people who don't know about the Golden Gloves and what that actually means, because people have heard the term Golden Gloves, but what does it mean?
Golden Gloves is really the biggest. Everybody knows Golden Gloves, whether you're a kid, a girl, a businessman. Everybody knows the Golden Gloves. It's one of the biggest brands in the country, if not around the world. A lot of guys that grow up, they fight, they enter the Golden Gloves. You have you had the silver gloves as the little guys, and you can fight from anywhere bantamweight, intermediate, novice, sub-novice to open class fighters. So the Golden Gloves is realistically a elite tournament, 18 years and older. But we do add bouts to it with novice, which is 10 fights and less.
Okay.
Sub-novice is going to be 2 fights and less this year, because we found that the people with 3 fights could fight a guy with 5 and 6 fights, but a guy with 1 or 2 can't. You follow me?
Yeah.
So they fight. Everybody comes from Pennsylvania. You had the preliminary bouts. Everybody fights. It's East Coast. the east of the Pennsylvania will fight, west will fight, and centrals.
Okay.
They all fight each other. The winner of that goes to the regionals. And from the regionals, you go to the states. The winner of the states go to the nationals,
Okay.
which were in Tulsa, Oklahoma again this year. We had a silver medalist out of it, heavyweight, Steve Williams from Chester, went out and made Pennsylvania proud. Most of the team went more than halfway past the whole tournament. Pennsylvania team did real good this year. They had about 11 fighters. And we're looking to make it stronger for next year, which is going to be an Olympic qualifying year. And we may be Olympic qualifiers in the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
They're trying to bring it back.
So not just the Golden Gloves. Now we're talking about the Olympics.
Correct. If Steve Williams would have won a silver medal next year, he could be an alternate in the Olympic trials, I would say.
Okay. That's I mean, like that's what I think is people know the term Golden Gloves, and I mean you hear it if you watch any movie with boxing or anything that has anything to do with boxing, the term Golden Gloves always came up. But I don't think people really understood the reverence behind it, how it worked. Now, so it's the 2023. You're running it. It's going to be where?
It's going to be at the. Some people call it the Upper Chichester Rec Center. Some people call it. It's really identified as the Field House. Upper Chichester Field House. It's on Fury Road in Aston. Actually, it's right by the police station next door.
And it's not just. I think they're putting the term rec center on there is kind of downplays with the kind. If you've never been there,
yeah, the place is beautiful. It's like 45,000 square feet,
and you have to have a certain amount to cover the amount of people, the amount of fights that are going on, and make sure everything, of course, is legit and up to the standards of the Golden Gloves.
Yes. For instance, we use 3 boxing rings for the nationals. They fight every day for 6 days up to the championship, which is the 6th night. The last night they take 1 ring is for championships, but I think on Wednesday they had 62 or 67 fights in one night.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
So how long does the rounds go again?
3-minute rounds, open class,
Okay.
lead tournament. But it was 3 rings. They go constant, all 3 rings. And as you know, one guy would win, and they would stop that fight and wait for the other 2 to finish to make all the announcements.
Okay, so they would like if there's like 5 fights going, they finish all 5 fights, and then
you 3 fights going at a time.
3, I mean, yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's awesome what you guys are doing, and a part of me is like, all right, like May 2023, like I get to like bone up on this stuff because I've always been a boxing fan, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about it. Like I hear Golden Gloves, I didn't know that was a certain type of skill level within the sport. I thought it was almost like the Lombardi of boxing. Like it's an award, like once you win a tournament or something like that. Like, and I know I'm sounding probably very ignorant here. But I don't want to say I'm a casual fan of the sport because I do watch a good amount of boxing, whether it's Vasily or Triple G or that goon Canelo, who I just can't even stand. I mean, or just some of the other guys that are local. I mean, like I love that you guys are doing this, and now it gives me a chance to like really jump in and start to learn more about the sport. I just get excited for what you guys have coming up. So thank you guys for coming in.
Oh, it's awesome.
Our pleasure.
And I got to learn most of my boxing, which is very little, from this man sitting across here. Like, he loved for me to, because he would, our boy Pat Rambo, he would train him, and you trained a couple other guys.
Knockout
in Clifton Heights.
That's
and
right.
Yeah. He would make me come hold the bag because they wanted the guys to feel like he would make make me hold the bag so the guys had something heavy behind
hell
it.
of a backstop, Dale. Hell of a backstop.
That's
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But so Larry, tell them like how you're involved and how you work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big Al.
Yeah.
I'm president of IBW Local 614. For those of you who don't know who that is, we represent the PICO employees, the linemen, gas mechanics, the splicers, the backhaul, fiscal. This is our neck of the woods, and Dan and me, we met through Ed Campbell. He's a fighter. He's a financial advisor. He's our financial advisor, and he said, "Hey, you could help and get on the board, and we're raising money and raising, I guess the word is awareness." They're having the national tournament for the Golden Gloves in the 100-year anniversary in Delco.
Yeah, which is amazing.
And their story is even better because Dan's like, "Yo, you think we could get it here?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." He goes, "You want me to see if you could help?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's see." And dude, he got it. We're here, so this is legit.
So tell about the reach of the Golden, because here's the thing is you just said you're trying to raise money for something, right?
50 states.
50 states. It's the reach of 50 states. It's not just Delco.
No, Hawaii is coming.
Delco's just going to be
Hawaii's coming to 322.
Okay.
A little hot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yo,
yes.
and then
Man, they're gonna be
guys,
in for a culture shock.
Oh, dude.
yo, let me tell you something. I've said this before, and Carl, I don't know his last name, but he's the delegate for Hawaii.
Mhm.
Real good guy. Spent the whole week with him in Tulsa, Oklahoma last week at the Nationals. Hawaii, I don't know if it's the spam that they're eating, but them guys come to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago, New York, Texas, Florida put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a kid that Marvelous Coben or Cuban, I say his name wrong all the time, but he was 33-0 when he went to the National. He fought three days in a row. He went to war with a guy from Hawaii, and he beat him, but he lost the second night, and the guy he lost to won the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these
Wow.
guys are fighting 5 nights in a row.
That's
So-
crazy. And so, yeah, so becoming a sponsor, what would be the best way for somebody to go about that?
We have our link. I don't even know what it says on it. I'm sorry.
We got a website.
Yes.
All right. You can make donations directly on the website, or you can contact me.
Is that the goldenglovesdelco.com?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yes,
I wanna
it
make
I
is.
sure.
believe it is. And so since all 50 states are coming here, there's a number of accommodations that have to be met. Hotels, busing. It is a full scale operation.
So you're telling me not just, it's going to be something cool in Delco here and, being the epicenter of the Golden Gloves tournament this year, but you're also going to be bringing business to this area
A
that
ton.
after a pandemic is well needed.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
Larry. Excuse me.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, we're bringing between 800 to 1,200 coaches and fighters. Each team brings up to 20 fighters with 2 coaches and 2 officials.
Okay.
So that's 32 states, but there's 32 franchises. But like I was saying earlier, like Delaware doesn't have a franchise, so they go to Washington. So you bring a full female team and a full male team. Each state's bringing 24 plus people.
Okay. So that's something else we didn't talk about. So there'll be male and female tournaments running at the same
Correct.
time.
Yep.
It's amazing. And then what's the age span? Is there like age brackets, or is it just by weight and all that?
It goes by weight, but it really goes. It's an elite tournament. Everybody's 18 years and older because
Yeah.
you can go to the Olympics.
Yes. And I'm looking here. I'm just on the website. So if you guys haven't checked it out, maybe even after the show, go to goldenglovesdelco.com. You have multiple packages for any business. I mean, and this fits any business. I mean, if you have a small startup, you can take this. If you're a big time company, maybe a car dealership or something,
Yep.
and you want to get out there and you want to be known, this is a great way of doing it. You guys have great packages here.
Mhm.
And like you said, it's not just here. It's across the country. So that is cool. So is it the first time this is in Pennsylvania ever?
Yep.
This is the 100-year anniversary of American Golden Gloves. There's never been a boxing tournament in Pennsylvania,
You believe that?
And
and
it's coming to Delco.
we
That's
are the
right,
fight.
baby.
It's coming to Delco.
They'll
baby.
never be allowed to come again.
Nah, we're gonna get them
One
back,
done.
That's
Yeah.
right.
but it's,
What were we thinking?
we're the fight capital of the world, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean?
And that's a thing. And I remember, Larry, we talked about this years ago. And Joe, we were talking about kind of the same thing along the line. We were at your house. I think it was your house. We're watching, or maybe at the old studio. We're watching one of the MMA fights, and like you hear about a lot of fighters who've come out of Philly, a lot of between MMA, boxing, and all that stuff. But I still feel like it doesn't always get the love that it's supposed to get.
Correct.
Like, why would something like that happen?
Before MMA it was wrestling.
Mhm.
Before that it was whatever.
Yeah.
Boxing's been around since the beginning of time. Old politicians used to get their votes from boxing in the street.
Mhm.
The whole gladiator, the whole thing.
They should go back to that, by the way.
Yeah, I wish they would too.
That would
'cause
be
some
pretty
people need
awesome.
to get punched in the face though.
I'm running. I'll run.
Larry, remember you always said you'd be president? You would be president then.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, actually I want to give an invite to any of these MMA gyms that need to work on their stand-up. The Golden Gloves does have a sub-novice and a novice. Most of the guys in MMA are not going to fight open class in boxing. They do their MMA, they have their whole thing. But they all need help with their stand-up, and they all know it.
Mhm.
So right now I'm giving anybody in 2023 that wants to fight novice or sub-novice in the Golden Gloves, you can do that. You can go up to a state championship. You can't go no further than that.
Okay. So for any inspiring boxers right now, what would they have to do to enter this?
The weigh-ins are in mid-February, second week of February.
Mhm.
You weigh in 2 weeks later, March 1st or March, whatever the date is, the first Saturday in March.
Mhm.
the fight start. You weigh in. You say your experience goes on a card. They follow you on the computer and all, and you take your first fight. If you're open class, it's already a lot. Everything's on the computer now, so you can't even lie about how many
I
fights
was
you
going to
have.
say, like, yeah, I guess it's really hard to get around that nowadays.
Yeah. So say somebody's just starting out and they have like 0 to 1 fights under their belt. Like, can they go and like kind of prove their stuff and still enter?
Yes, that sub novice would be 2 fights and less.
Mhm.
So it used to be 3 fights and less. I'm changing it this year because I notice a lot of guys with 3 fights did very well, and I don't think it's fair for a guy. A guy with 3 fights fight a guy with no fights. It's kind of like he's just giving him a beating.
Yeah. Now, I mean, what is there like? Do you have to have a certain classification to call it a fight? Like, if Joe started boxing, he's working, say, at a boxing gym. Like, do you have to?
I've been
fight?
plenty of fights, just not.
Yeah,
boxing.
I'm not talking about the Wawa parking lot fights. I'm talking like
We all walked around with that stupid black eye for a week.
Yeah.
Right?
what classifies it as a? Like, you have to have like a legitimate fight? Does it have to be under a certain umbrella of something that considers that a fight? Like, so somebody can't just like, yeah, I fought like 5 times.
Yeah, when you register with USA Boxing, which is USA Boxing is a separate entity than the Golden Gloves, but we follow USA Boxing rules. USA Boxing has to follow some of our rules, but at the end of the day, we follow 98% of USA Boxing rules.
Yeah.
So you register, you go on usaboxing.org, you put in your information, you file, and you get your book, and you put on there your experience level, and that's what they go by. And when you've been doing this as long as some of the guys, who's new, if they're good, who they're fighting. Coaches know everybody they call, and it's a lot safer than it used to be. The old days, I just put a 5-pound plate in my pocket and get on the scale. Tony Wolf, God rest his soul. It was true. Like back in the old days, you would just show up and you get weighed in right there.
And that was it.
There was no cell phones. There was no pagers. You call everybody on their house phone, and things have changed a lot.
Yeah, people don't even know a house number now. Like everything's all stored. Like
We all
didn't have that
remember
stuff back in the day.
We all remember our first house numbers still, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, true story.
Yeah.
My mom texted me the other day. The fact that my mom knows how to text is just another thing. But my mom says, "What is Al's parents' number?" And I sat there for 13 seconds, and I was like, "Al, is this your parents' number?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I cannot believe I remember this after 30 years. Like, I don't remember anyone's number. I remember his parents' old number and my parents' old number, and that's it."
I got 3.
You had to.
I got 3 phone.
Yeah.
I got 3 phone numbers that I can still remember, and one of them's 911. That's it's my parents' phone number, which he asked, and then my grandparents' number, which doesn't exist anymore.
Remember when you called people and they weren't home?
And then
that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That was
Or you knock up on the door for them.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so we talked about the fighting side of it for a moment. I want to talk about the spectator side. So, all right, so I'm just, me and Joe are just sports enthusiasts. We want to watch this. Like, how does that work? Is there tickets for it for that? And is there other ways to watch it? Maybe you're not, of course, from the area. You can't come out.
I think what he's asking is, can we get VIP?
Yeah, I'll pimp you guys both out. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
All 3 is.
It's the third guy to tell me
John Verna from Juniper Group. He's going to live stream it for me. Real good guy. Obviously, you've been talking with him yourself. There will be tickets. You can buy the tickets at the door. We are going to print tickets out, and we're you could probably call me up. We might even use Ticketmaster or something.
Oh, cool.
I don't know yet because we're still like 8 months out.
Yeah.
Before it starts.
So so is there going to be like ones for different nights, or is it just championship rounds?
Yeah, we're going to have ones for different nights because the Nationals itself is, 6 nights of boxing up to the championship night. So the venue holds, I think, like 1,800 to 2,000 people. So we will be selling tickets for every night.
Right.
Different color tickets, whatever. And you can get tickets at the door. You come to the door, it's fine.
That's awesome. So what we'll do for you guys as well, those listening, I will put on our website at eopsports.com a link to their site so you can sign up as a sponsor if you want to, find out more information on it, or maybe get tickets or the streaming option for those who aren't really local, who can't make it out. Because I'll tell you right now, even though I know you and I just met you and I really find it interesting, if I just heard about this, I would want to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you have to be a boxing enthusiast. I mean, you can just be a guy like, I like sports.
Yeah.
You can go to Like I just went to the Phillies game on Sunday, and I dropped a lot of money just to take 4 kids to a Phillies game. I guarantee this will be a lot more exciting and fun for them to see,
Yes.
and be a lot more affordable.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't come to the area that often. Or I guess never. This is something that's never come to the area.
Never.
So just out of pure interest, I think everybody should want to get out there. Like, and again, even if you're just a guy who just likes to watch the sport, doesn't know much about it yet, like me, like this is something I'm absolutely going to go to because I am legitimately interested in seeing what goes on with the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
And it's really good based on to continue what you guys are saying. Like this tournament is going into an area that's never been in that area, and it's never been here. So we have hotels that are involved, restaurants that are going to be involved. We have 2 hotels under contract: the Delta right by the airport, the Clarion over there in Tinicum.
Okay.
Those contracts. We got busing. We have ring rentals. We got rentals for. I got to rent 700 chairs.
Yeah.
We have
Beer
The
gardens.
little things.
yeah. We have
got a
food
beer
trucks.
garden.
Yep. We have food trucks coming. We have.
You had me at beer.
Yeah.
I think that garden.
Yes.
So, like I said, we're gonna have buses taking fighters into the city. You want to go see Art Museum steps and cheesesteaks and restaurants, Longwood Gardens down the street. This is going to bring a lot of economical growth to the area.
That is interesting that you say that because people from across the country, they possibly have never been here. And yes, I mean I understand Rocky's a fictitious character, but he's beloved by a majority of people. So a lot of people will come down and go to the statue, get their pictures, run the steps, and of course they're going to be in the Philadelphia area, so it's going to bring a lot of sales to the nearby area as well. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's not, we keep saying Delco, but yeah, I mean it helps Philly out. So anyone in there Philly listening, I mean, work together, guys. We don't have to be separated in this situation. And also, I mean, it's a good time because Delco is getting that more national attention that it probably never had in the past. I mean, HBO put out a great show called Mayor of Easttown.
I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah, it was all based in this area.
There's another thing to add to that. Like a lot of people don't get this. Like we are the tri-state, so you have Jersey, New York,
yes,
Pittsburgh, 6 hours away, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore, DC, they're all going to drive into this area.
Absolutely.
I need to get 1,800 room nights for this.
Yeah, no wonder you guys are starting this now. You have so much to do to prepare for this.
So not just sponsoring helps you in your business and whatever else you're involved with, but you also get to be part of this huge first time ever situation. I mean, like you get on board. And if I have to tell, listen, we do a lot of sponsorships with our business. That's what we do, Joe. And I mean, and the one of the big things I always tell people, don't wait. Why spend the same amount of money now or wait 3 months and spend it? Because guess what? For the next 3 months, you are already you just wasted 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Get on board now. Help out this great organization. Be part of history, might I add. I mean, who doesn't like that?
Sing it out.
Yeah,
Sing it.
Exactly. And Philly Sports will be part of this the whole way through.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
I know I talked to you guys off air, and I said, maybe we're gonna get some fighters, some interviews with fighters. Let them talk about their experience. When the time comes, we'll be covering it. We'll be taking care of we'll be your news outlet there, so they can check it out and see what's going on. So we'll be all part of this the whole way through, and I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Maybe you could be a commentator. We can have live commentator.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
I'll have to start watching more boxing commentating because I'll be like, he punched him again and again and again. Ooh, in the face.
Just don't watch any of that Max Kellerman.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I won't make it up like he does.
Jerk off.
You guys love Max, though. You guys love him.
But guys, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. This was awesome. I'm excited. Like I said, we'll be working alongside with you guys, helping you out in any which way. Working with our contacts with you because I think this helps everybody. I think, and that's the thing is, people I want to understand is forget sports. If you're just not even in sports, just forget everything. We are coming off a pandemic.
Yeah.
Financially, everybody's been kicked in the dinghy. Let's just throw it out there. Okay. Things are a lot different right now. This is the kind of stuff that, we always say like, oh, well, during the pandemic, I can't wait till things get back to normal.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we're not wearing masks like we used to. But things aren't back to normal. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the kind of stuff
Yes.
that will put you over the top.
Yes. And if I may,
Yes.
Okay, I'm a union president,
Oh, are
a
you?
uniter, if you will.
Yes.
Okay, so it's Pico, it's Vicinity, it's Penske, it's Constellation. We bring people together.
Yes.
And we're very acute to,
I've always said that about you,
to
Larry.
dividers, right? Well, all 50 states are coming here
Mhm.
for one glorious thing: amateur boxing. You're never going to see two people fight harder that are not getting paid for it.
Yeah. And,
They're there because they want to win.
and let's put it out there
That's so
too.
true.
$10 trophy.
$10 trophy.
Yeah.
They kill you for it.
And not everybody gets a trophy
You're
out.
really beating the crap out of
Just
somebody for a
the
$10
winners.
trophy.
Yes.
Just throw it out there.
Just the winners.
Well,
get
it'll
the
be more
trophy
than
out.
that, but that was just an
Yeah,
example.
I know. I get what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
but this is a big. This is and look, we're generally an underdog type of place, right?
Mhm.
And this is an underdog type of thing.
Yeah.
Dan put his whole life on the line for this. He quit his job. He decided he was going to rip the Golden Gloves tournament from across the country to do it here. He's going to do it in Delaware County. Okay, there's a lot of support that's coming this way, and it's for a very good reason. Okay?
Yeah.
And when they watch these fights, they're going to see the hearts of these kids fighting. Okay? They're not getting paid to do this. They just want to win. And that's what this country used to be about, and I think it's still about. I think if you come and watch it, that's what you're going to see. I think it'll motivate people, to be honest with you.
and here's the other thing is think of anything that you could think of that brought people from 50 states and probably further, I
Yeah.
imagine, 50 states into Pennsylvania.
Nothing.
Nothing. Maybe the Pope coming here could have been the closest thing that I could honestly think of over the last my entire lifespan.
Yeah.
Well, if you think of what's coming up in the next like 4
Yeah.
years or so,
You got FIFA.
Philadelphia, this area is a hot spot right now.
And you
You
guys are
got
kicking it off.
WrestleMania that was just announced.
But they're
You got
kicking
the
it
World
off.
Cup.
Yeah.
You got the MLB All-Star Game, and now you got the Golden Gloves.
But no, you guys get to kick it off because you're getting in
Right.
it before they will.
Yep.
Because the All-Star game's not till the
2026, I believe.
yes, because it's the 150th anniversary.
Right. Yeah.
Dan Mullarkey,
FIFA is
bigger than the Pope.
yeah. FIFA
Bigger
is
than the
is the 24th or 25th.
Is that saying like you're bigger than or bigger than the Beatles or bigger than Jesus? Remember that scene?
Yeah.
back in the day?
Yeah.
Saying this is bigger
All
than
I
the
know,
Pope?
they
All
gave
right.
me this title as president, and I'm running with it.
The Pontiff.
Yeah.
You know,
Just don't be his intern.
Use some goddamn reverence out. The Pontiff.
The Pontiff. But guys, thank you for joining us
Thank
tonight. And like I said, we'll help you. We'll be here to help you guys out. We think this is great. And like we always say, we're 4 for 4 and so much more at
Absolutely.
EOP. That's our tagline. And we like to. We have guys who cover MMA. We have guys who cover soccer, cover everything. I think we're going to be bringing in some guys to cover boxing as well.
Damn straight.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just got one more thing. So Larry is not just the 614 IBEW president. He is the East Coast national delegate for the Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. So I tried to build his resume a little bit.
So this is so what you're trying to say is fill out a form and you get it.
Yes.
And the only thing I would like to mention, we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
September 10th, I'm having a club show at Upper Darby.
Mhm.
The old Upper Darby Boston Club, which is now Must Fight Boston Club, I reopened. 7241 Westchester Pike. Doors open at 6. First fight's at 7. We're probably gonna have like 15 to 18 bouts.
Okay.
Just trying to promote the national tournament, get it started.
I think we might swing by and check this out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come meet the Pope.
Yeah,
Damn
I meet the
right.
Pope.
Yeah.
No, but so yeah, well, all that stuff. Check out, like I said, GoldenGlovesDelco.com for all your sponsorship needs. If you want to find out how to get tickets, how to stream the flights, all that kind of things, because you're not going to want to miss out. And guys, once again, thanks for joining us.
We love you.
Yeah, thanks for
All right.
having me, man.
We'll
This
be
is
in
great.
touch. We'll be in touch, and Larry, I guess we'll talk once or twice again.
All right.
For those who don't know, Larry was in my my wedding, so I kind of know him a little bit.
Yeah.
Two of the 3 guys sitting in front of me were in my wedding. The other guy was I don't know what the hell he was doing behind
Hey,
me.
it worked out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the only one who lost in this situation.
Congratulations.
It was a sad day.
We all
Really
cried.
was.
We all
Yeah.
cried. We'll be honest. For many other reasons. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. All right.
Thank you, Al.
And guys, yes, we're gonna get back into the Phillies sports talk. As you know, right now the Phillies was at 6-3. I know we just went to commercial, so I wasn't following it. But Joe, so the one big news is not the Phillies so much as Bryce Harper.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. And our boy Matty B was literally texting me when you guys were talking. He is at the Iron Pigs game. There's so many pictures. He's about
Really?
5 spitting distance away from Mr. Bryce Harper.
Tell him to grab an interview or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I told
Why else would he be there?
Stay on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Is
those,
he on the company dime? Because if so,
yeah,
Larry's right. Make yourself useful.
yeah. So for those who don't know, Matty B is our Fighting Final. He goes live after every Phillies game and gives you the breakdown of what he saw, good, bad, or indifferent. But yeah, so Bryce Harper hit 2 dingers the other day.
He did.
In his grand return. Now, some people go, well, it's minors, but when you haven't played as well and you're going up against somebody who's trying to actively strike you out, it's very encouraging.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he did it, I think it was his first at bat, right? His first at bat,
Yeah,
he
I
hit a
believe
dinger.
one of them was his first. Yeah.
Why are we wasting time? Why is he?
Well,
if he left right now, he could be in Philadelphia by the 7th inning.
Yeah.
So why not? Why get this train rolling?
I think he can't actually come out. He can't come back until tomorrow anyway. Technically, the rules.
Yeah.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, right. And I'm not sure. I've heard from different people in the business that he kind of wants to go through the weekend just to make sure how healthy he is. He could come back for the Pittsburgh series, but he'd probably end up meeting the team in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, which is, listen, don't rush them back. They're doing well. I mean, they're beating good teams. I know we're coming off a really bad Mets series. As I said, I was there Sunday, and I still got a little bile. And so, were you at the game where what I'm about to bring up happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was effing disgusted by what I saw that Saturday afternoon game.
All right, so
absolutely disgusted.
So what I'm talking about here is, for those who are just joining us, on Saturday, one of the doubleheaders, it was the day game, right?
Yeah,
the day game. So apparently the Phillies have something built in. If you buy a certain amount of tickets, you can be the ceremonial first pitch guy if you want to be. If that's what you want to do.
And by the way, why didn't we know this before? And why haven't one of us really tried to get into this and get down on the field for a first pitch?
I don't know why Philly Sports Trips isn't throwing it out every other game.
Vince, what are you doing?
Come on, Vince, get off of this. But so a group of Mets fans, I don't know, they have a name for themselves.
Doesn't matter.
Jackasses,
assholes.
JOs, something, I don't know.
Yeah,
the NYJOs. But they went and bought a huge package of tickets, and the one, I guess their leader of sorts, the general, which had
the lead asshole.
Yes, the biggest asshole of them all. He got a chance to throw out the first pitch at that game in a Mets jersey and a Mets hat with the word "general" across the back because he's a general moron.
Brought down by the Fanatic.
What?
So Joe, so you're watching this, right? I'm not at that game. So
by the way, I was already pissed off before this even happened. Because of me, I walked in that game and I'm just looking around. I'm going, "What? Where are all the Phillies fans?" That place was 100% taken over by Mets fans, and it was making my blood boil. Mm-hmm. And then this first pitch stuff happens, and my wife is sitting there, like, calm down. And I'm just slugging beer. No, I will not come out. This is bullshit. We were sitting there. I don't like to yell at the opposing team's fans, but I was a little extra that day because I couldn't believe what I was seeing happen. Like the Mets got a single, the stadium was in an uproar and cheers.
You couldn't.
It was unbelievable.
If you close your eyes, you couldn't tell which team did good based on the noise you heard. Usually you can tell.
It's embarrassing.
It is. It's absolutely embarrassing.
And it's something that has to change.
Phillies fans need to be called out.
Well, you know what? Here's my thing is, and I'll get into that. That was the second part of this part.
I want to go into that too.
But so for those, like I said, so what happened was he got to go out. Joe, I'm wondering if are you waiting for the Fanatics to drop kick this guy? You thought was this a bit? You thought this was a bit, right?
Even if he just throws confetti at him or something, just something to make it a joke. Yes,
nice setup.
Something to make it say, "Hey, all right, you're welcome down on the field, but you're still going to walk off it looking like a choke."
Yeah. And here's my thing is, I'm not usually one to say somebody needs to get fired or lose their job, but somebody should get fired or lose their job off of this because it doesn't make sense. How did this go through so many people? The sales department had to make this.
The channels that it has to go
through.
And
I'm sure this guy's email he sent to make the payment was New York showed 610 whatever,
sleeper cell
douchebag.
That's sleeper cell.
Yeah, at asshole.com. But
they probably got the email saying okay, you are accepted to come down and do it. Is this a joke? Am I being set up for this? Why would they allow this? You think the New York Mets will let a Phillies fan go down regardless of how much he spent on tickets? Not a chance. No other team would do it. And if they did, they have no self-respect. The Phillies look awful. Just embarrassing.
And I'm going to turn this around a little bit because I have to give them the Mets group that did this a little credit because if this was vice versa, if it was a bunch of us who went up to New York and pulled this kind of, by the way, this would never happen. This wouldn't happen anywhere. This wouldn't happen in Milwaukee.
No.
This wouldn't happen in LA. This wouldn't happen anywhere else. The Phillies, and we talked about this recently after the whole Pete Rose debacle and all this stuff. The Phillies themselves as an organization, I'm not talking about the players or the coaches. I'm talking about the business organization. The behind-the-scenes guys are just completely out of touch. They are out of touch. You're telling me this is the first time that they had 40,000 plus fans in the stands 3-4 days in a row.
I don't believe those numbers for a second.
Well, it's 40,000 fans, tickets sold. So
tickets
you know how
sold,
it works.
right? I get that.
But my point is, and you think this is a good idea. At what point does this come to you? This is a good idea. This is going to happen. And is it the sales department? Is it the director who lets the guy go out? Like, I mean, listen, you let the guy go out, but like, no, move the hat, take the jersey off,
Just
throw the ball. Like, they
we
really
used to have a reputation.
I figured this out. I said this. I was talking to Matty B on his Fighting Finals the other night, and I said to him, the Mets are a better team. I'm just going to throw it out there from a player standpoint at this point. They are a little bit of a better team on paper. But they're not that much better. The Mets are literally living rent free in the Phillies.
Have they played a healthy Phillies team at all this season?
It's not my point. My point is,
should be your point.
No, my point is they
actually can't be your point. They have a whole lineup of injured players. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But the Phillies have had. They look completely different. If you watch any other series, I don't care how good of the team is. If it was the Dodgers, if it was the Pirates, that team looks different. But when they play the Mets are in their head. It is a psychological war that they're winning right now.
Right. And I think to your point, could that be the reason why we are off the deep edge because of the Mets fan throwing it out? Like, say it was the Pirates series and a Pirates fan came down and throw it out. Would we be so up in arms? I don't think we would.
We would be very annoyed, but not this bad.
Right.
No. This is the equivalent of somebody wearing a Dallas Cowboy jersey and taking a shit on the Eagle in the middle at the 50-yard line. This is what my equivalent is. And yes, we should be mad. Joe, I'll tell you, I almost drew the Golden Gloves that day on Sunday with my kids sitting right. It was more the Golden's gloves because I was covered in mustard. But my thing is like I'm sitting there, I'm at the game. In first part, if you're from New York and you're gonna take this personal, I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't care. But you guys look like this guy looked like a Nintendo 64 character. I don't know what was wrong with his face, but I wanted to pound it in even further. I'm sitting there. So this guy comes up. He doesn't even belong there. I'm in this section. There wasn't too many Mets fans where I was at, but there was a couple. And they were quiet for the most part. They cheer when their team did good. Don't get me wrong, but they weren't like obnoxious. This one guy's redheaded, smacked ass. I'm sitting there. They took the lead back for the first time. He gets up, turns around. And I just mentioned I got two young kids with me. I got my wife, her friend. So I got some females there. This jackass grabs his junk and starts like, starts saying something. I'm like jumping over chairs. My wife's like pulling me back. I'm like, no. I said, listen, you want to peacock when you're doing well because I'd be doing the same thing. I get it. If that was when the Phillies did, I was pounding my chest.
I'm a total hypocrite.
Yeah, no.
There's no doubt about that.
But I'm not turning.
That's the spirit.
But I am not.
I'll be the first one to tell you that.
But I'm not turning around and grabbing my junk in front of kids and women.
Well,
like,
thank God.
Yeah, But my
it's illegal in foreign countries.
But my point is, that's where I draw the line. And they actually had people come down and like, they told the guy to leave. They made him leave. I'm like, I got tickets here. Check this guy's ticket because he was not here the whole time. He's only been here for about maybe this inning or the last inning too. That's about it. So they threw him out, but I was pissed.
You should have been pissed.
And then this group of Mets fans, I know where they bought their tickets. They had the entire section behind the Mets dugout. The visitors' dugout was all them. Because every time I would look over, I mean, there's Mets fans scattered throughout the Citizens Bank Park. But that one section, which I believe is like 131, 132, yeah, I don't know. I memorized the section, so shut up. But my point is like, I'm like, it looked like the wave, but in one section. Everybody would jump up when the Mets did well. And I'm like, you know what you should do? Be like, listen, you guys can buy these tickets, but I'm going to scatter you throughout the stands.
Yeah.
Like at the stadium. Like, here you go. Like, just like pepper them around. Like, yeah. Yeah. So then we can, beat them up individually one by one instead of, yeah.
You got to divide them.
Yeah. And like you said, Joe, because we're going to get into this point is I agree Phillies fans should be a little ashamed of themselves. But here's the thing is, do you not remember too long ago the Nationals banned people from outside the area?
Right.
Yeah.
especially Philly, from buying tickets to go down because we used to call that Citizens Bank Park South. And why can't we do that? No, but we're too afraid of hurting somebody's feelings. We're too afraid that, the guy did buy 15,000 or 5,000, whatever the number was, worth of tickets, or the group did, or whatever it is. So we have to give it.
It's not that hard when you can get them on StubHub for like $4. So.
And here's my thing: is there apparently, from what I understand, there is a rule in whatever when you do this that they can tell you can't wear certain things.
Really?
So who was there not doing that job? Like, did you forget what team you work for? Like that is the most head scratching situation with me. But on what you were talking about is, I do say, hey, fans, you should be out there. But at the same time, I blame the Phillies. I blame the Phillies more why those stands are lighter than they should be.
Well, yeah, attendance is down, absolutely. But a part of me doesn't even feel like it's because of the play of the Phillies. Like, I think there are just outside other things going on. Like, number one, it's expensive as shit.
Yeah.
Number two, I mean, who wants to go sit in traffic with their kids, around, because some of these games are starting at 6:30, and they're starting a little bit earlier. And let's just face it, there's so many different ways to watch the game now.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not home, you can stream it on your phone, you can stream it on your computer. Of course, you can listen on the radio. Other people have just so many other things going on nowadays that they can catch it anywhere whenever they need to.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't even think it's because of, like, what comes September and October, that place will be packed because it's postseason. But right now, I don't think people are like waiting to see like where the Phillies end up at the end of August to start going to the games. Like, I think that there are just outside elements that are happening. And I saw one thing. It was like, oh, the Mets are having a lot more promotions than the Phillies, and that's why their ticket sales are up. Number one, their ticket sales are up because they are in first place. If the Phillies were one of the hottest teams, and they have been rightfully so the past couple months, one of the hottest teams in the MLB, but they're not to that point of the Dodgers, not even to the Braves at this point, and of course the Mets. Like, those to me are the top three teams in the league. Of course, the Astros are up there, but they're all, the AL. Who gives a shit about them? So if it comes,
bastards.
well, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you got those three, but the Phillies aren't that top priority right here, right now.
So I agree with that. I think the other elements fall into the fact is if you have had a drought of over a decade making the playoffs.
You would think that would get everybody excited right now. There's 13, 14 games over 500.
4
People
years
should
ago.
be excited right now.
Well, the city changed, guys. Too.
It absolutely has.
The crime in the city.
But
we're coming off a pandemic, so people still
I mean, people are a little tentative, and a lot of businesses moved out.
Yeah.
There's that part, too.
But also, here's my thing is, how many years over the last 5-6 years outside the pandemic, of course, and even that one counts because it did kind of happen there. But couldn't go anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cardboard cutouts.
Has this team let people down?
In what sense?
Okay, let's talk about that pandemic year. They had to win 1 of 4 games.
Sure.
And they lost all 4.
Sure.
They go into September and
that was a real kicking dingy.
Yeah.
Bring that up to you.
Yeah. They've gone into September hot and fell apart and ended up not making the playoffs, which they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before the pandemic year. They, and that's why, like, right now, like, people are still saying, oh, they're doing real well. Look how good Aaron Nola's doing, but it's going to fall apart.
Right.
Like, you got a lot of pessimistic Phillies fans. I know, surprise. But my point is like, I think that plays a lot of factors in it because, and during the week too, it's right now, forget, this is a week. A lot of schools have gone back already, or people are getting ready. So they're either on their last vacation the last couple of weeks. I mean, I just came back from vacation. A lot of people do a lot of it.
Nice.
Yeah, right. No, if you, as I always tell people, if you have 4 kids and a wife, it's not vacation; it's paying to work.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, so right now, a lot of people are either away for their last vacation, they're getting ready for school, or they're starting school. So during the week's tough to go to normally anyway, but now it's even worse.
We're also coming off a pretty big heat wave. It's been really hot out.
Yeah, it's been ridiculously hot.
And muggy too. I mean, we had a lot of rain recently. That was the other thing. I take my 2 younger kids to the game.
It rained that day,
and it rained delay. We were there. Game started at 1:35.
Yeah.
I got home at 7.
Yeah, I watched.
Okay.
I did not watch the Phillies at all when the Eagles were on. I watched the complete Eagles game, and then went over to the Phillies game, which I think was still in the fifth
inning. Came back,
and I still watched 3 hours of the Phillies.
It was a long game to begin with because I remember before even the rain delay happened, my wife turns to me and I say, I look down, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes or whatever into the game, and they were like they were just starting the 4th inning. So I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a long one, kids. Like,
and you stayed for the whole thing.
And that's the other thing is, and I know we talk. Yes, my kids, I give them a lot of credit because
Do they like it?
my 13-year-old, he just does it because we're doing it.
Yeah.
The 6-year-old, he's a little bit more into it. He loves the fact. This is my son. He loves the fact that he can yell at strangers. He saw me yelling at a guy, and then he starts yelling at him, and then he looks up at me like, "Is this okay?" I patted him on the head. I said, "He's a Mets fan. He doesn't count as a human being. Have at it."
Long live
You
Delco.
know,
Long live
and
Delco.
We'll get him to the gym.
This boy,
Sounds like I got him.
this boy, he punched me the other day. Like, I was holding a pillow. He threw a punch. I'm like, hey, get Uncle Larry in here on this one.
Clifton Zoo still around.
Yeah, but no, but it is sickening. And but like I said, Joe, I think next year you'll see the difference. If they make the playoffs this year, even if it's not, a one and done, like a one round and done type situation for them, I think you'll see, because you're going to have higher expectations. This team came out with high expectations and they were let down because of Joe Girardi's bad managing and just a really cold team. Bad, not great pitching. Bullpen that we were about to sell the whole bullpen now is like one of the top bullpens in the league. And you got guys like Schwarber and Cassano who couldn't hit a ball, but we bought them in to do that.
Nick just hit a single. I think it's his 13th, 13-game hitting streak.
I think he's like batting like a 340 or something right now over the last.
And Nick is so hot right now.
Nicky bats. And like that was a guy that people wanted to run out of town already. Like, I mean, he was here for 3 months and they were ready to get rid of him.
Yeah, but I think to our credit, I mean, we always said like this lineup is just too good to be down this long. And now look where they are, the past 2.5 months. I mean, they're in the second wild card position. Again, 14 games up over 500. This is something we've been waiting for 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
And I said
people can't spend an extra $5 for a ticket to go down and see,
that's what
I
think next year's the year you start seeing these sold out games again. I mean, we all grew up. Wow, we were down there together. That's where my famous hairdo came from.
I remember.
Like we would be there and we would be down there, and there was a sold out game was so common to us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had a streak of like 4 years or so.
Yeah, like there was a game where they didn't sell it every day. It was like I think it was like 2.5 years, but it was close to it. Yeah, I mean,
they got used to it.
It was up there.
Yeah, like it just happened, and like their giveaways were like, here we're giving out an old Dixie cup. Now they're like giving out Funko Pops. That's why we picked
Real Mewtwo cooler bag.
Yeah, that's what I think that was tonight, isn't it?
But
like
Castellanos.
That's why I chose Sunday's game because my kids are into those Funko Pops, and I'm like, well, they have the.
I didn't know about it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I tried. I took my kids. And I said, go up like you just got back in line and see if they hand you one. My son's not as clever as I am.
Was it 14 and under?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried sending Venino up to kind of go around and grab another one, and then I was
13.
Like,
he could have gotten one.
He did, but he got one. But he's too shy. Like I'm like, no, go like 4 people down and like just blend into the line. And just like look like you're with somebody, grab your Funko Pop and just come with me.
Dude, we purposely go to the bobblehead nights. My 3-year-old, my 1-year-old, because guess what? Doesn't matter the age. My 1-year-old daughter gets a bobblehead.
Yeah,
it's an extra prize for daddy.
But you know what?
Let's be honest here.
Catholic school.
Yeah, but
Catholic school out.
Yeah, but unfortunately, my problem is the 13 and 6-year-old want to keep them.
Right.
That's why I said I'll just steal it off some Mets fan. There's like some Mets guy. I saw him like he's like sitting there holding it. I'm like, that's what a real mascot looks like, not a stupid guy with a baseball head. Like, my wife's like, can you stop yelling at the 10-year-old? Said I will not.
What's up, Danny?
Danny Wams, what's up? Let's see. Freddie Burns chime in. Exactly, Joe. Been waiting 10 years. In those 10 years, they lost a generation of fans who don't even know the roster or pay attention like we did in the early 2000s to Tommy, to 07, 08, and et cetera. No, you're right. But that's the thing is like, but that's a bad product that, you had Andy McPhail and them running out and they allowed that to happen. And they kept putting out a bunch of jobbers out there and guys that they were not good at drafting or bringing.
All right, but to that point, they now have Dombrowski in here, and we know his track record coming in, and we've already seen what he's done with this lineup. Shouldn't that bring some excitement as well?
It will, but like I said,
everyone wanted to talk shit around the trade deadline, and what did he go out and do? He got bullpen help, starting pitching help, and center field help.
Yeah.
It wasn't blockbuster trades, but it's exactly what the Phillies needed to move forward with giving up as small of an amount of compensation in at all in general.
No, you're right, but like
Ricky
I said,
Moniak, who gives a shit?
I think next year is when you're going to
Dombrowski for president.
you're going to see a lot more fans in the stands come next year.
I sure hope so after a World Series run.
Yeah, right. I mean, that could exactly happen. I mean, I listen. Anything can happen. Those fans are gone though. They pay. They even pay attention. Lost fans. I mean, listen. Baseball has struggled as a whole, not just Phillies, but MLB.
Every kid has a device in front of their face now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And-
times have changed.
And I know, and this is the one reason they tried to change the duration of the game a little bit because, like you said, giving up 3 hours of your day is really hard, or 3.5 hours of your day, a lot is very hard, and it's not cheap.
Right. And also, when we were going to games, 2 or 3 a week, we weren't really married and had kids. So I mean, it is
In
tougher to get
2000
down. I mean, I get it now.
Larry, if you remember, in 2008, I had a pregnant wife at home who sat there at home
I remember.
every night while I was at the every like September, October, and October because we didn't make early November at the time game. And I have to give her credit still. She only bitched a few times about it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Joe, you're right. Like we could get away with it, but maybe, like I said, maybe the generation has changed. Because you can go on. I mean, here's the thing: is you can watch right now. Like say if you missed this game tonight, you're like, oh, I wonder what happened. You can go on their YouTube and pull up the 8-minute rewind.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. I did it for the Eagles game because I was at the Phillies
Right.
game. So I went home and then when I put the kids to bed and I sat on the shitter while I was watching the Eagles game. I mean, I like literally what I did. Like,
Thanks for that image.
yeah, there you go. Calm down, ladies. But
It was hot.
yeah, it was hot.
Man of few words over here, and he comes out to zing.
Is sports everywhere like that, or I mean, if all attendance suffering, say it has something to do with generation, it's just Philly baseball.
No, I think all attendance suffers. I mean, even the NFL saw attendance drop. And it's once again, is it still pandemic related? Is there plenty of people out there who are probably still scared to go
possible,
on
yeah.
crowds? Yeah, especially your older groups. Financially, there's a lot of people who are hurt by it. It's not cheap to get, like Joe, we keep bringing it up. It's just not cheap to do anything. I mean, we talk about PhillySportsTrips.com. I said that is a deal. I'm not just saying that because they're my sponsor. I'm saying that because that is a deal. If you went down to an Eagles game right now and just bought parking and a ticket for a lower level ticket, you're looking at about $350, maybe $400, right?
Oh yeah, easily.
So
Especially if you have to pay for your significant half either.
that's before you buy
Also-
your first hot
Oh
dog
shit.
and a beer or anything like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now with at least that's why I think places like PhillySportsTrip.com will, like Vince, they'll thrive
Oh, absolutely.
because now you just made it affordable and you get to go to another stadium and kind of take in something a little different. 'Cause
yeah,
I used to do that a lot before I got married. I used to go. We used to go to different stadiums and just take in. Like I went to St. Louis in 2010. Our buddy Tom, a bunch of us, we went down and we went to St. Louis, stayed at the ballpark for 2 or 3 games of the series.
They just threw out the first pitch.
No, I didn't. They wouldn't let me.
I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. So we're sitting there and we're talking to a couple people in the stands at the first game, and I say, "Listen, like, you know, you come to Philly, people know you cheesesteaks like thing to get." I said, "What is St. Louis known for?" They're like, "Fried raviolis."
Jesus.
What?
I said, "I can get them in a Wawa."
What?
The guy's like, "Did you just have a stroke?" I'm like, "No, that's the name of the place. It's called a Wawa."
I went to Larry's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Oh,
cooks over there.
Oh my god! Oh, you've been?
Okay.
I came over one time and I got fed like a king. I got an Irish
You'll never,
family.
you'll never go.
I
You'll
was
never
like,
eat
I
the
didn't want to
same
leave.
again.
I didn't want to go home.
Well,
It's not a vid.
show them the picture of your birthday.
It's not a vid like
Your 40th birthday.
Oh God.
Jesus. I never
Yeah.
drank so much bourbon at one time.
Beautiful.
That was a nice event. Yeah. Nice event.
But yeah, Larry, it's a good question. I mean, I think attendance is down. The cost still coming off the pandemic, and I think one of the bigger things is the way you can ingest the sport now. You don't need to be there,
Right.
and actually, unless you have the money to do it, it's becoming more of like a high end thing. You know what I mean?
A luxury.
A luxury, yeah.
Well, it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, because look around the studio. You got 2 beautiful big screen TVs that you're enjoying watching the game on,
Right.
costing you $0 right now. Okay? or very little, a couple cents per day to stream and whatever you paid for a TV, which is now, let's be honest, you can get a really good TV for $700-800.
Right.
Okay, so that's 2 tickets to 1 game.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you got a high def TV, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
when you
that's
put
the
it
way I
like
have to do
that.
when me
scary.
and Lex went to the game on Saturday, it was a spur of the moment thing. Like we woke up that morning, we're like, "What can we do?" And then we're like, "Phillies are on at 1." Called my mom, "Hey, babysitter, come on over." Blah blah blah. But then, like, before we even got in the stadium, parking was $22. We got the cheapest tickets because we knew we were going to bop around. We knew
Yeah.
some other people there.
You can get away with that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like $70 for parking and 2 tickets before we even get in the door, and then beers are $15. And I drink. All right,
Yeah.
just put that out there. I drink, and my wife could put like, she likes to partake as well. So I mean, and then we go to Xfinity
Really?
Live after, and then like it turned into like a
He's drunk
$300
right now.
day, and that's just like on the spur of the moment thing. Like
Yeah.
this isn't something we saved up for,
Yeah.
like thinking like, all right, we'll go to the game in a month, we'll have this money set aside. This was like, no, let's just go
If you
on
just
down, and
take
we
2
ended up
people-
spending hundreds of dollars.
If you take you and your wife, you're looking at least, and that's a
Oh
cheap.
my god, and the food. I forgot about buying food.
That's
Yeah.
cheap. 300. That's cheap. That's a cheap day. I took my 2 kids, and listen, Mikey, the boy likes to eat. We can't walk past the freaking stand without him wanting to try something. I got see. Here's the thing: is
The Schmitter.
they don't have it no more there.
What?
Now you got to go to
Yeah,
the.
they got rid of it.
Don't say.
You know what?
They don't have
I'm
the
actually doing a
Schmitter.
video. I was telling my wife actually is a big fan of Schmitter.
Why would you go?
And I told her, I'm going to do a video for EOP, like just like a TikTok or something, of building a homemade Schmidt. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'll see if I can make it close
Let's
to
get
it.
back to the Schmitter. When did that go away?
I think it was only around for a season or 2.
It was like a few
It was
seasons.
brief.
Yeah, they.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, these places buy them out now. That's the thing is like if you go where the Schmitter is now, they make Bull's Barbecue and they have that peanut butter and jelly bacon cheeseburger. That's like their big thing now this year. They always have something.
Who wants that?
Nobody.
So here's my thing: is I've talked about.
Hipsters. Hipsters want that shit.
So I talked about 10 people who've had it, and everybody said it's actually pretty good. Now I like peanut butter. I just don't like. I don't know if I would like that. That it could be a weird. So it's not like grape jelly or strawberry jelly. It's a jalapeno jelly. So it's a spicy thing. But
Still don't care.
yeah, I mean, I'm not spending.
I'm with you.
But it's the thing is, I'm not spending $15+ on a cheeseburger to find out I don't like it.
Yes.
Who was
Actually, I went to Manco and Manco's Pizza because that's that boardwalk pizza we all love. It's actually cheaper to get. That's actually a good bang for your buck because I got one of those for 2 kids to share.
Okay.
It's only $16 for a pizza, and I know you're like that's not cheap, but and I was probably like somewhere between the medium and the large. Like
What?
It's not. Yeah.
It was $16 for a Manco pizza at the ballpark.
Mhm.
Holy balls!
Maybe $1 more if you wanted the pepperoni or
Wow.
sausage. Or
Is
whatever.
this Tony Luke's there?
Tony Luke's is
Yeah,
still
Tony's
there.
there.
Campos is still there. The Bull's Barbecue actually sometimes you get your best bang for your buck. You get more, more food for having to spend a lot. But that's why we used to go to the Dollar Dog Days. Remember,
I know.
Joe? We would go when we were younger. Larry too. You were there. We would go and get the ballpark dogs at the Acme, and get the slip out of the dog tour for free
ticket,
for the high level, 700 level tickets back in the day, and then Citizens Bank Park had them. I think maybe for a couple of years.
We went through so many packs of hot dogs back in the day.
Yeah.
Just so we can go to the Phillies game. It was unreal.
But
That's
we-
probably why I look like I do.
We would do
Hey,
the
good
back
looking
to the
guy.
back. We do back to back double headers. That's before they had these day night double headers.
Right.
And you get 1 ticket, 2 games, and always those back to back double headers. One of the games were Dollar Dog Nights.
Yeah.
So we were frugal. We knew what we were doing then. And we could take a bus down there or something, and we can for $30 would get your whole night, the whole day. You could do that.
Real quick, because you brought up Mikey, there's a story you told me that I think about. I don't know why I think about it so much, but it's so damn funny. I literally laugh out loud. And you were telling me that you guys were at the game, and he turns to you and he's like, "Dad, we'll go great with this ice cream, the cotton candy, nachos."
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that story makes me laugh so much.
My kid can eat, baby. I mean, I'm shocked.
Blood
So-
relation.
And I said this is where he got smart. My 13-year-old's a skinny run, and he probably he's probably like 105 pounds at 13, and Michael's like 80 pounds. There's like a 25-pound difference, but it's a 6-year difference in their age.
You want him in the gym.
Yeah. And it's funny because now football in the Burpell League has changed. They don't do weight ball anymore.
Oh no.
It's age now. But they changed the age. It used to be by August 31st, and that's his birthday. But they moved it back to August 1st. He's still in flag football.
Oh my god,
At 70
really?
pounds. He's just
He's
murdering.
not mashing these
Like
kids.
I gotta take it take it 50%, bro. Like I gotta like pull them off to the side, 50%, bro. Yeah, no killing any of these kids. But like, and it's funny because like the rookie balls where you first wear pads, they thought he was going to be on that team. The coach was like crying. Coach Don, he's like, Al, seriously, am I losing my best lineman? I'm like, sorry, dude.
That's awesome.
But you
got a food house, dude.
Yeah, but he hears because Venino doesn't eat a lot. And I like try to incentivize him, like, here, buddy. He won't try anything. I'm like, here, try this. It'll make me happy. Like, I'll try to incentivize him. Like, it'll make me happier. You know, if you try a couple different things, I'll buy you this the next time we go there.
Takes after his mama.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, but Mikey sees me doing that. So he goes, Dad, I would really like to try those nachos. I was like,
and he loves nachos already.
Yeah.
I was like, you must think I'm the dumbest guy in the world. But I swear to God, so I took it was just me and the boys the one time. The wifey was not there, so it was just me and I spent more money that day than when I brought her and the other two kids with me.
You can't say no. When the wife's not there, the kids get what they want.
Well, I swear to God,
that's how it happens.
It was a hotter day, and they had the water ice, the lemonade guy, frozen lemonade guy walking around, and Michael had one of those and forget about it. And then, so that guy came by 3 more times. I'm like, dude, come on. I'm like yelling at him. I'm like, get away from him. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was, but whatever. We're back to sports. Sorry, guys. Get a little off topic some days. Rails, track, gone.
I gave my kid Cheez-Its for breakfast today. You know why? Because Mommy wasn't there. I said, Drew, did you ask me for this because Mommy's not here? Yeah. That's exactly why.
This is your punishment.
Did you pour them in a bowl of milk?
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Delco cereal.
Give them what they want. You got to listen to them cry.
Right. We used to cook at midnight, remember?
I'm trying to work. I'm like, no, here's your bowl of Cheez-Its.
Well, it was funny because my sons, all of them are Oreo whores. And so my mother trying to be the good.
Say whores?
Yeah.
Okay.
They love. I go through more.
Right.
I go through more packs of Oreos than any human being should. And so my wife complains. She's like, look at this. And she holds the Oreo up at me. I'm like, I'm an Oreo. I know what that is. I'm diabetic, so thanks for waving it in my face. So she's like, you know what the package says? I'm gonna like Oreos. You know, like she's like double stuffed. Does this look double stuffed to you? They're really screwing us over now. I'm like, you better call the press, honey, because the Pisco's screwing you over. You know?
You know why they screw you over? Because now they have the mega Oreos, and they think, oh, well, you'll just have to buy the bigger one. No. Sorry, I'm going
right.
I'm going on a tangent.
You want me to call a congressman?
Call a congressman. Keep the Pisco on the line.
This is first world problems here.
So now my son gets on this soapbox about the Oreos. But my mother goes, she tries to buy them. She goes, I bought you guys Oreo cereal. So if you ever had Oreo cereal,
I don't think so.
It's terrible. Okay.
It sounds terrible.
It's like, think of like a shape of a Fruit Loop, but like brown like an Oreo cookie with little white dots in it.
If I wanted an Oreo and milk, I don't get in the milk.
So that's what I said.
I don't need soggy ass Oreos.
So my son goes, I want Oreo.
Exactly.
He goes,
who wants that?
I want Oreo cereal, but not
like a man.
Yeah, so, the guy who tried it.
So here's my thing: is my wife, like my son, this is gross. I'm like, I'll make it. So they sell these little mini Oreo containers. They're like little pop containers with tiny Oreos. So I said, this is how you make Oreo cereal, and I poured that into a bowl with milk in it. I said, that's Oreo cereal right there for you, boys. So
you show him.
So my son tells my wife when I'm not at home one time, I want Oreo cereal. And so she goes, we don't have it. He goes, yeah, we do. She goes, but we don't have it. He goes, yeah, we do. And she's like, no, we don't. And he's going back and forth with her. Michael's like, yeah, we do. So she goes, then you go bake your own Oreo cereal if you're so smart. Like, so here goes Michael popping the top on a thing. She goes, what are you doing? She's like, that's not cereal. There's cookies. She's like, that's how Dad makes it. I get a phone call, man. What are you, nuts? I'm like, you married me, you know.
Exactly. He'll be drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes at 12, 13. That's it. It's all over now.
Well, he said to me, he goes, we had our boy, one of my other sponsors, Fat Cow Jerky. The guy goes wild boar hunting. And he goes, dude, we had so much meat from this boar we brought home, and they took it to a butcher in Lancaster, and he cuts it all up. He goes, I can't do anything with it. He goes, do you want some of the meats and have it frozen? He made wild boar scrapple and wild boar pork roll, and oh my God. I'm like, I don't think I can eat normal. Like, I mean, I can. Don't get me wrong. But it's like not. It's never going to be the same. I'm like, next time, let me know. I will buy that off of you. Like that was that good. But So there is another team in town we haven't got to touch on. We have a little time left here.
Flyers?
No.
Sixers.
Yeah, they are in town, but they're not worth. There's nothing to talk about with them right now. So KD's not coming, guys. Get off that topic.
Yes, thank God.
So game over on that. But no, the Eagles. Eagles are in Miami right now. Last preseason game coming up this weekend.
Saturday 7. I
Yep.
believe.
So we had a game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Was that weird?
Yeah, it was weird as shit watching the Eagles preseason at 1 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's usually like 7:30
1
on a
p.m. is
Thursday.
for the 1 p.m. when it's not regular season for the Phillies. That's the way it should be.
It's just having Eagles football on before the season starts at 1 p.m. on Sundays, just on a Sunday in general,
Right?
because usually it was Thursday or Friday, right?
Yep.
But so far you're.
Oh, and by the way, and 2 joint practices.
So
I know that they used to have one, and then the preseason game, but why 2 now? Why did they extend it 1?
So this is what my theory is, and I've been hearing a lot of along the same lines because they're talking about monetizing, and it makes sense. So as we know, in the preseason games, less and less now starters play, right?
Sure.
And the other thing is you have
I want them to get injured in joint practices now. Like, come on.
But it's more controlled, and it makes sense. So
Sure.
Think about this. You can put a game on, and you could go play a game against somebody, but maybe you want to get more red zone action. Maybe you want to get more one-on-one action. Maybe you want to get more offense, more defense. Where you can control that now. So now you have Darius. You saw Darius Slay kind of hobbled off the field a little bit today.
Right, and that's what I mean. These players are now getting hurt in these joint practices. Miles Sanders got hurt with a hamstring last week. Didn't play in the
Miles
1
Sanders
p.m.
gets hurt blowing his
game.
nose, dude.
And now Darius Slay. Like, if you're not going to play him in the preseason, why are you playing him in these joint practices?
Well, here's my thing: is I from what I understand, he's fine now.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think he got burnt. I think
Miami.
I think somebody got burnt a little bit and had to play it off a little bit. If you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
But
Shit. All right, sorry.
But
overreacted.
Shit. But my thing is I think it's better for them as a team. So now you can put Jalen Hurts, up against these guys in a controlled situation. He's not going to get sacked. And I think that's why these joint practices are going to become bigger and bigger. I think at one point they're going to start streaming them, and maybe like maybe Eagles website or Eagles app. Like this is going to become bigger than the actual. Like the preseason game is more it's more spectacle for the second, third, and fourth stringers.
They tried to make the whole Tua versus Jalen thing like a marquee thing within the press the past couple of days. So yeah, if they want to get some eyes on this streaming of the joint practices, I mean, if you're going to try and hype it up anyway with Tua versus Jalen, let us all see it.
Yeah, no, they're not, and nobody cares
and if you're not going to see the players in the preseason games anyway. I mean, we're being forced for them to play in the joint, then I'd rather watch them practice.
Well, that's what they're saying. I will guarantee, if not next year, with the following year.
The link sells out, or not sells out. I mean, I guess it's technically they sell the tickets for that, right?
Yeah, $10 a piece, but most of it goes to the autism.
Right. Well, right, of course, but they're still selling the tickets for $10, and that's a sellout. And that's
selling their food,
dude. That's just not a joint practice. That's just the Eagles effing around.
Let me put this out there. That open practice at the link is a money making cow.
Oh, absolutely,
cash in cow, bro.
If it wasn't at 7 p.m., I would have taken the whole family.
I went there. So you get $10 to get in, whatever. I spent $40, got us all in there. Not a big deal, right? I bought a bunch more
tickets.
Do it in
a heartbeat.
That's easy. But once you start walking around, and they have they have plenty of free stuff there. Don't get me wrong. Like you can take pictures with different. You can sit on top of the helmet.
Yeah.
Trolley, whatever the heck they call it. You can take pictures with the cheerleaders. You can go.
Do they have the Lombardi there for the practices?
No, they have like their fake signs that have the giant Lombardi on it and all that stuff. But you can walk through like the big places. You get to walk through the whole place, get a feel for it. So it's cool like that. But if you want something to eat, you're paying full price.
Oh, absolutely.
So they have a full stadium and they are charging people full price for the food. The store's jumping because people are like, I only spend $40. I'll buy myself an $80 hat.
Yeah, you're right.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, they make plenty of money. And then they had, which was really cool, but you couldn't even get near it, was they did more for the autism thing. Is they had a lot of signed memorabilia.
I saw
they call it, they're cleaning out their closet or whatever the term they use for it. But like you can just go up, there's a jersey. It could be Carson Wentz. It could be some no-name jobber you don't even know. But you could buy it for $30 or $40, and it all goes to them, and they're cleaning out all their crap. I couldn't even get near any. I was trying to like grab a football just to see. I saw guys walking with like 4 helmets, footballs, jerseys, you name it. They had it. It was signed. I mean, I don't think it comes with any authenticity certificate that I saw, but I couldn't even. I'm telling you, couldn't get near it. I almost lost Michael into it. I had to like jump in and like pull him out. Like the scene from The Exorcist where they pull him out by the rope. It was kind of like that.
It might come with a sticker that says like go to this website with this code and you can get your authenticity from that.
Maybe
that's what the Phillies.
I don't know how they took money. I could have reached over and grabbed a football and ran if I wanted to. If I was a jerk.
I would have loved to see
you. You don't think you'd get caught?
Okay, I wouldn't say ran. Maybe walked briskly and sweated most of the way. No, but like, yeah, my thing is, I think ultimately they will start maybe on their website or their app. They'll start streaming them out.
Yeah, I would absolutely be interested.
Unless they're going to do the open practices in a stadium. That's the only other way.
Right.
In charge of mission for it.
Well, then maybe they should have these joint practices at home. Not in Cleveland, and then back in Miami. Like, have them here for the fans.
Yeah. What I understand is that so apparently, I think sometimes the teams set it up between themselves. It's not always scheduled out.
Okay.
And from my understanding, is Cleveland already said they want to do it. They want to practice again with Philly for next year. But this time, of course, it would be in Philly. It would have to flip flop back and forth. I mean, like I said, they definitely locked down the practices. Now I know part of it's probably due to COVID. I wonder next year how it would be. But they don't let you go into the you can go into the non-open practices, but you can have your cameras out for about 15 minutes. Really? After that, you got to put your cameras away and you leave. You don't see anything. You see some guys doing some calisthenics, maybe some guys just throwing some lob passes.
Everyone is so quick to throw things up on social media these days. Like they can't trust anyone not to put a play up there from the playbook that they can use in a regular season game.
That's why you're not going to see
you got to be tight-lipped with everything.
That's why you're not going to see big plays from the guaranteed starters.
Sure.
In the preseason on top of it.
Mets fans walking around.
Yeah.
I know.
How about Yankees fans using hot dog straws to drink beer? Did you guys see that?
I saw it. It grossed me out. And then I couldn't believe how many news outlets were like trying it like the next day. Like I saw like the MLB team, like on the MLB network. There was like like Pedro Martinez. Like there's a panel of 4 guys and they were doing this. They were drinking a beer through a straw. And my biggest thing wasn't even like, all right, you can get drunk and, try something like that out. But my biggest thing was, who drinks a beer through a straw? Like, how do you even know about doing this?
And if you want to drink a beer through a straw, like, pretty much you're telling me you like beer with the flavor of hot dog in it.
Which is odd.
Yeah.
But after you're done the beer, you get to eat an alcoholic hot dog.
Soggy-ass hot dog.
I'm just saying.
I can also do this.
You'll be eating a lot of
I can also do this. I can do this.
Right.
It works the same way.
It's kind of worse than the Oreo thing we talked about.
Yeah.
Shit's gross.
Yeah, like I don't get it.
Yankees fans.
Yeah, Yankees fans, the weird people.
When I was at the game on Saturday, there was a kid sitting in front of me. He had a Mets shirt on and a Yankees hat on. And I gave it to him a little bit, like how confused are you, buddy?
Let's talk about that for a second. I know we're on the Eagles topic. And I know we're on the Eagles topic, but I have to ask you guys a question. Like, I mean, we never had to live through that. Like, as guys who live from Philly, there was only one team here ever, like for any of the sports. Like, how hard would it be? Like, say right now, Philly brought in a second baseball team, right? Say the A's move back, which is for
good luck
conversation.
Yeah.
And you're a young kid, like say our kids, and you're growing up, and you got 2 teams going on, and like, how do you that's gotta be hard though. Like, you gotta choose. But you got 2 teams that are representing your city.
Well, you know the deal. The team gets like its identity from the players, and then people associate themselves with that, like the Italians and the Yankees, and all that.
Yeah,
the working class of the Mets and the the yuppies are the Yankees.
Well, that's my question is, so Joe, say imagine 2008, during our big time,
sure.
2006, 7, 8, through 11 and 12. And if there was a second team in the city, another baseball team, and they weren't doing good. And now 10 years later, that team, the Phillies team, is not doing well. I mean, that's how you're going to be based, because you're going to base it on that team was doing.
Would I switch to the?
No, I'm not saying would you switch. I'm saying is
absolutely not.
No, but I'm saying is like you're choosing that because that team was winning at the time.
Well, it's not always that. It's also with upbringing
running?
and parents
Little
and
front,
and friends.
proper upbringing.
Yeah.
Well, front running.
But
that's
I
part
just
of it.
wondered, like, I wanted, like out of morbid curiosity, what Knicks in New York could go? Do you want Yankees? No, Mets.
But that's
like,
cultural. That is. My cousins, half the families in New
Yeah, I
York,
know,
and
like-
they're all Mets because they're all working class.
is that what it is?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so like the hoity-toity people like the Yankees.
Oh yeah.
I think what you see a lot of is Yankees fans are Giants fans and Mets fans are Jets fans. Like they already have
Man,
this
talk about being let down a lot.
right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's like pretty much
that
how it works.
documentary was legit. Though. The Mets
Oh yeah. Oh,
documentary.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I can
Is that
enjoy, I can enjoy
is that
a
the
good
one-
team story. Like
That was really
that's
good.
fine.
Yeah,
Is that the one where
Daryl Strawberry and Doc are doing
But-
coke? Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah.
but-
Nice shirt.
Missing the
Didn't they
World Series,
interview, like,
parade?
more recent Mets in that one too?
Yeah.
It wasn't that one where they interviewed David Wright, and then they're at like a restaurant or a diner or something, and somebody goes, "Chase, and it leaves," like banging on the
I
glass.
don't know.
I remember a video like that was like a documentary series.
They've had a few. There was the
Okay.
whole Subway series where it was the
Yeah.
Yankees and Mets in the World Series.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of different things. But here's like the biggest thing that I hate when it comes to cities that have two teams
Mhm.
is like, all right, Mets are NL, Yankees are AL.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Eagles are NFC, Steelers are AFC. Like people will be like, oh well, like the Steelers are my AFC team, but the Eagles are my NFC. No, it doesn't work like
They
that.
give it away.
Yeah, I don't give a shit how many teams you have in the same league in your same city. You choose one and you choose an allegiance.
There's no
That's it.
excuse to like the Steelers.
Absolutely not.
Zero excuse.
Hey, it's a town where
Zero
nobody's
excuse.
from.
Tell that to Tom.
Pittsburgh, yeah. Pittsburgh is such a transplant area.
Yes.
You know, like,
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. I listen, and the Steelers have a rich history of football. Let's be honest. But I hate.
Cool.
I do. I can't
your-
stand that town. I always said we've talked about this 1,000 times. Top 3 most hated fan bases in my world are Dallas is number 1, or no, actually the Penguins fans are number 1. Dallas is number 2.
Jesus.
Mets are 1A, 1B if you want to,
Yeah.
and then Mets fans right behind them.
Penguins number 1 over Dallas.
Dude, Penguins, they're a different breed. Because you know why? And Holbrook, I think he said it. Hollywood Holbrook was on the show with you the other week.
Let
Yeah,
it
and
out,
I'm watching
Let it
it.
out, Al. Let it out.
He said he was spot on with that.
Yeah.
They're fans who don't know their own team. He's like, they have to Google information to make fun of you.
Mary Lou.
Like, oh, this guy's a Flyers fan. Oh, you guys haven't won since '75. Hold on,
Right.
you know, like he was spot on. Like they Sidney Crosby. Okay, what about him? He's very
He's
good.
good.
You know, like I'm like,
He's very
Yeah, yeah, we know.
you know, it was like that. Remember that documentary with it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
Remember Pumping Iron? It was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno.
Yes.
And like Lou Ferrigno's like looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger, just like amazed by him. And he's like telling his dad, he's like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him, and he's working out, and he's just amazing. And all I can say is, he's good. Like it was like the most you're ready for this like most profound thing. And it was,
He wasn't
he's
a poet, Louis. Yeah.
no, but no. So real quick, let's jump back on our Eagles talk for a second. Joe, what takeaways do you get from so far from this preseason action?
We're talking both games, I'm assuming.
Yeah, what have you taken away so far? Like what have you liked what you've seen? What have you not liked what you've seen?
I think people need to really start railing around Jalen Hurts. I mean, I know a lot, like outside of the perfect game that he had, a 6 for 6, 2 touchdowns on one drive and 80 yards. Like outside of that, like all we really see is a clip here or a Twitter post here and there about like, oh, he went 14 for 19 and threw 6 touchdowns and little shit like that. Well, I'm taking that to heart. I'm taking it because that to me shows that he is improving and he is ready to take the next step forward and lead this team. And I think sky is the limit for this guy. And also, why not rally around him? What else do you have to lose?
Yeah,
And imagine this. If he turns out to be your franchise quarterback, you have 2 first-round picks next year. You don't have to worry about another quarterback coming in. All you have to worry about is when and how
You call
much
them
are
luxury
the
picks?
Eagles and how are we going to pay this kid? Because if they wait another 3 years, he's going to be paid, what, $50 million a season? I mean, that's what you have to worry about. If he turns out, then all you have to worry about is when are they going to sign him long term? Like I don't give a shit about Bryce Young. I don't give a shit about Stroud coming out. Like these guys to me are small. I don't think that they look like franchise quarterbacks at all. And then you have the Anthony Richardson from Florida and the Will Levi, I believe from Kentucky. Don't quote me on that. But then there's like the second tier of quarterbacks. So like I don't think next year's draft is even anything to write home about anyway. So I think Jalen Hurts is still your better option with the quarterbacks coming out. So why is now not the time to rally around Jalen Hurts? He obviously he's a difference maker in my eyes. He can manage the on-field action. He creates plays. He's playing behind arguably the best offensive line in the league. He now has every single weapon he needs around him. His best friend, not even on the field. He's been best friends with A.J. Brown since high school. He was trying to recruit him to come to Oklahoma, but he went to Ole Miss instead. Of course, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, top 5. I could go on and on with the weapons this guy has. The only thing he has a question mark around him is the backfield, and that's because Miles Sanders can't stay healthy, and there's question marks around the other guys, but that's besides the point. Jalen Hurts, everybody should rally around this guy, and I'm sick of people saying he's not it. Because who's to say he's not it? He's played, 20 games in the NFL? 20 games?
Well, here's my thing: is nobody should be saying he's not it. You don't know, like you said.
You say that.
No, I said I don't know if he's it. We'll find out. But my point is, there's no reason.
Al's not a fan.
I know.
I'm not. See, this is where you get it wrong. So, a lot of people.
Nick Foles.
A lot of people think you have to get it. A lot of people would rather be right than have a winning team.
Well, that's another, and I say this a lot. Another thing that I hate is when people just say, "Oh, well, he's not it. You're going to regret having him as your quarterback," just so they can say, "I told you so." X amount of games in, saying, "Oh, Gardner Minshew should start." Like that is just so goddamn fake to me. I'd rather go out here and hang my head on Jalen Hurts, and then halfway through the season go, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I thought I saw something that I didn't, and then I move on.
That's a good
point. I hate the "I told you so" people.
And I told you my hang up with him is can he read? Well, I will find, and we won't know until he plays some games. Is can he read a defense? Can he make quick decisions? That's what hurt him last season, and that's where and that's always kind of been a hang up for him, right?
He led the team in rushing
because he had to.
I understand that. Like if he could read a defense and they create his own play.
I listen. Yeah,
what category? Al, what category? You putting him in like the McNabb category? Where are you?
Well, you mean like a top, like where I put him like in top, like if top 10 or more? I mean, he's like a top 12. I say around 12, 13 right now in my book. Like I said, what's holding him back is two things: consistency and his growth in IQ, in football IQ, along with
But we haven't seen enough of that right now to say that he has.
That's why I said my jury is out on him. I'm not saying. Here's my thing: is I win if he turns out being great.
Sure,
I win. I'm a happy Eagles fan. If he turns out being great, and because right now he's the biggest question mark we have, maybe except for the safety position. We'll throw it there. He's our biggest question mark because if he's hot, if he is the man, we're going to be in for a very fun season. Okay, because everything else looks great. Our second, because this is my takeaway. Our second, our backup O-line is better than some teams' first string.
Cam Jurgens is a stud.
And how many people roasted me for thinking that was a great pick during the draft? A lot of people were like, "Oh, we could do so much. We don't need that. Why do we need a center?" This is why we need a center. Jason Kelsey's out, and look at him. He's only, I know, once again, it's preseason, but the guy looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
I know.
He knows he's plowing through guys. He hits that second level. He's doing everything we love Jason Kelsey for.
Yeah.
That's why Jason Kelsey choke him.
Does Ross Tucker stroke? Cam Jurgens.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier too.
It's unbelievable.
Like a Yankees fan with a hot dog.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I mean, but it's that's huge, and like now it's like you were talking about having 2 first-round picks, right? How like it's almost if he turns out to be the guy, right? That's huge for us. Now you got 2 luxury first-round picks.
Sure, absolutely.
Or you can keep passing the buck down the line and try to get another first-round pick for the following in case you need something else. My point is, you also have a couple other luxuries. Andre Dillard's putting you in a bad situation right now because do you keep him and have a great second choice in case Mailata goes down, or you trade him?
Well,
because you can get a lot of bang for your buck for Andre Dillard.
Well, yeah, I mean, left tackles don't grow on trees.
Left tackles don't grow on trees. He's a first-round pick, and one injury, we saw how that can happen. You're going to need him, and he can make a world of a difference.
No, absolutely. But here's the problem: is this is his last season as an Eagle. He's not,
which makes him even more tradable.
Absolutely.
No
But
heart. No heart. Come on.
Well, it's not hard. It's business, man. That's
gave,
how it works.
They gave May a lot of the extension. Andre Dillard, he's not going to take backup money to play with the Eagles next
Especially
season.
if he's playing like he is now.
Again, because they don't grow on trees. He's going to be probably the top free agent next offseason.
Yeah.
So he's going to go out. He's going to get his money. So yeah, you probably should trade him now. But then it's like you fall into the risk of, well, what happens if, God forbid, I'm not even going to say the words. You guys know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's a damned if you do and damned if you possibly don't.
Well, I mean, listen.
I say you do the right thing.
Look at your backups. You got Andre Dillard, right? You got Cam Jurgens.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jack Driscoll.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I thinking of?
Anderson,
and there's Prince Tega. Where's he's your third string?
Prince. I think he's practice squad. I haven't heard anything.
Who's the backup left tackle?
Backup left tackle? Andre Dillard.
No, I mean left guard. I'm sorry.
Left guard is Toth.
Toth. I mean, that's my thing. Is like you could listen. It's the Sam Bradford situation. If you have if somebody's left tackle goes down and they're offering you a first round pick, you're probably taking it.
Yeah.
Unless they're offering you a first round pick next year, like I don't need three.
I don't see them getting a first round pick for Andre Dillard.
If your left tackle goes down and you have high hopes,
anything's
you're
possible.
telling me if the left tackle of say like Tampa Bay, the Niners, Green Bay, or somebody's goes down, they're not going to give him a first round pick for him.
I don't know.
I
really don't.
Listen, your left tackle is the most. Next to center is the most important guy on that line, if not the most.
I think it's the most important.
Center runs the show.
The blind side.
I don't think. You're protecting the blind side of a quarterback. That is the most.
Listen, as a former left tackle, I would always agree with that. But I can say like the guy, he's like there's two quarterbacks on the field. There's the quarterback and then there's the center, and those guys are usually. That's why I'm saying maybe would rank the center a little higher. But we'll argue that another day.
You think Dawkins should have retired here?
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
That was the biggest. That was the Eagles organization just dummying it up huge.
If you play well and you give your heart, you should be able to.
They got. What did they even get for Dawkins?
He's a free agent.
No, he was free. That's right.
Signed with
so you got nothing for him. So it's not like you could trade him and you got any picks. And the guy had at least.
It was worse. They didn't even get anything for him. They just let him walk.
And he went and played like stellar.
Dude, there's no reason why he should have. He should have retired.
Listen,
no doubt.
I believe if you went back in the last 30 years and picked top 5 blunders on the Eagles, that would fall into one of the top 5 easily.
I think it's top 1. I maybe letting Reggie go.
Watkins.
Wow, God, remember that?
I don't give a shit about Danny
Remember when
Watkins.
they let
Danny Watkins? It was the biggest blunder of all time. Well,
no. Wait, hold on.
Of all time.
No, I'm just saying.
Hold on. You're telling me drafting Danny Watkins was bigger than letting Reggie White go?
Oh, Reggie White. No, I said the last 20 years. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
There's a lot.
I don't know, man. There's a lot. Yeah.
Since 2000.
I mean, I guess we can go into the trade that happened today with the JJ Arthur-Whiteside draft pick for the second round.
Not a blunder. It's just whatever. I don't understand that.
That trade was so dumb.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So dumb. They gave up the safety that they just got for JJ Arthur-Whiteside. They gave up him, Ugo Amadi, and a 7th round pick for a 6th round pick. Not even for next year's draft, for the 2024 draft.
Yeah.
So basically what they did was give up JJ and a 7th round pick for a 6th round pick in 2 years.
They passed the buck down the line and to take the fact of the way that you just traded away a 2nd round pick for nothing.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And people are like, "Oh, I love the trade. You're going to possibly cut him anyway." Well, he changed his position to a tight end. Why are you cutting him? You can stash him in there as a tight end, and then you have your extra blocker, which he was very good at, on your offensive line. You have an extra blocker on your offensive line and a tight end in JJ Arthur-Whiteside.
I think they quickly found out.
Like, why would you?
I think they quickly found out that JJ couldn't even block.
I think what happened was Haley Roseman has had too great of an offseason. Too great of the past 2 off seasons, and we were waiting for that one blunder. And luckily, it only came in the price of a JJ Arthur-Whiteside. But we were waiting for something to happen, and this was the one thing. And now he can get back on track.
I honestly think JJ was. I mean, you saw his work. What he said when he got to Seattle, right?
I didn't actually.
He pretty much said, "Hey, I'm a wide receiver. I'm not a tight end." Like,
oh, okay.
I think they saw the writing was on the wall for him.
You know what else I saw was the Seattle Seahawks put out 2 hype videos of the acquirement of JJ Arcega-Whiteside. 2 hype videos of 30 seconds each. Where they got all this footage from, I have no idea.
You know, his only touchdown was because somebody fumbled it. I think it wasn't it
I think you're right.
Miles Sanders fumbled it.
Yeah.
He fumbled it into the end zone and he fell on top of it. That is his only touchdown.
Counts.
Like it counts, right? Yeah, look at it. It counts.
It's got it, right?
But that's my thing is like the only thing you can get if you want to get be real for JJ, it would be complete sports radio talk of everybody. Wanting DK Metcalf, like that's what I would do. That would be my reel for JJ. I was like us getting upset that we could have had DK Metcalf.
Well, I mean, back in that draft, I mean, the Seahawks were like, oh shit, the Eagles got JJ. We'll have to take DK now, but wait 3 years, we're going to get JJ and team them up together.
Yeah.
This
This is the long game. The Seattle.
We're playing the long game.
We're also going to get rid of Russell Wilson too. I think that wasn't really part of the plan. But guys, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I know we ran a little longer here, but it's okay. We had some great guests with us tonight. Dan, Larry, thank you for joining us. And guys, remember, the Golden Gloves, Delco.com. Sign up for getting your sponsorship now. Make this thing the awesome event that we know it's going to be. Be part of history. Check it out. EOP is going to be there along the whole time. And it's going to be a great time. And we will keep you guys updated. As you guys will update us with information, we will then send it out to you, the people of EOP.
Long live Delco.
Yes.
614.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I want to thank our awesome sponsors, including David Cherry at the cherryinjurylaw.com, Cherry Firm, 610-565-0300, workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury. And if you're a scumbag criminal law, they are there for you. Check out Cherry Injury Law, cherryinjurylaw.com. And guys, you have about 7 days left. So by the time we do the show, it'll be the deadline, okay? PhillySportsTrips.com. There's 1,000 trips out there. You can go on to PhillySportsTrips.com. I'm going to be honest with you. Every away game, every home game, you can go to PhillySportsTrips.com and check them out. But this is going to be the game. Talking about history, a group of 1,000 Eagles fans together will be going down. We're at 800 plus. Less than 200 of you can join up now for get somebody an early Christmas present. How many times you said, I don't know what to get my husband? Give it to him now. Okay? There it is. $325, PhillySportsTrips.com. Sign up for any one of the trips, but sign up for this trip for sure and check it out. And come hang out with us and click on EOP because then you get on our buses. You hang out with EOP on our buses. Check it out.
And I do want to say one thing. You see that up there on that graphic where it says lower level tickets? No other Eagles travel group is giving you that.
Nope.
This is the trip to get on PhillySportsTrips.com. Lower level tickets at the Eagles tunnel. They will hear you.
All right. Shit. Guys, once again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Big Al.
And I'm Joseph Sheeran.
And we out.